Yeah. All right. Welcome. Welcome. I know, great to be appreciated. Welcome, everybody. We're getting into that fall weather. And so it's getting a little chilled out here in Los Angeles, and so we've been preparing accordingly. But still, we want to welcome you to Making Pax Stereo, the show, the weekly show, where you get to be behind the scenes at the meeting that Victor and I do every week. This is a show that came about, again, by request, because people we know wanted to see more of what we do, what goes on behind the scenes. And since we have to do our regular get-together meeting every week anyway, we decided to do it in this way, in the spirit of our concept of radical transparency that we so wholeheartedly embrace. So you're watching us do that, and so thank you for being here, being part of this. Well, first of all, Vic, the big thing for tonight, and I'm going a little bit out of order for tonight, is that right before this is a delayed recording, is that I was actually working on attempting to tie Periscope or Meerkat, either one, into our live broadcast. By that I mean not our own perspective that we do, but to be able to show and broadcast our multi-camera shoot, this shoot that you all are getting to see, to be able to broadcast that live on Meerkat and Periscope. And I want to say I had good success on both. 77 viewers on Periscope, and I think 106 on Meerkat
without promotion,
just during the test, with no promotion, just
no scheduling in
advance, just doing the test and actually titling it, testing our broadcast, a multi-camera broadcast system.
They get to see the difference between what they get to see is they're going to see a higher quality projection. That
they definitely responded to that. They definitely responded and said how creative. The stuff on Periscope, really nice things are being said by people, Vic. Yeah. That they're complimenting us and said how creative. Yeah. How thoughtful. People I didn't expect that part. People are actually commenting on how creative of us to bring that type of platform. Yeah. I wish I had showed them more actual broadcasts like this as opposed to the pre-mixed stuff, but I kept talking to them, and then I was switching back a little, back and forth. But I noticed that the switching back and forth was natural, because the phone's already in position.
So you get to go
switching back and forth to me, boom, boom, boom. That part,
I do the same thing here.
Yeah, because maybe for the future, what I'm planning is leaving this as the setup. So at any time that we want to go live with our broadcast, that we could use this setup to go live with any broadcast. It would already be there. That's right. Already be set up. Yeah. And be ready to go. That's what I'm going to work on now, because that's what it appeared to be the take home. Yeah. So in other words, everybody, I tested out a system to go live with Meerkat. Well, it's just one phone. Yeah. So it's either or right now until we have two phones. But to go live by testing Meerkat and Periscope on the phone, with our multi-camera broadcasting system, the one you're seeing right now, and everything worked very well. Audio, everything worked very well. Yeah. So the first phase is about to be instituted on Tuesday morning.
Be interesting.
With the morning coffee. Right. For the Periscope, which will be the Pax Stereo TV broadcasting on Periscope. Right. In horizontal view. Right. Okay, on Periscope, and then otherwise we'll be doing our own regular Meerkats, whatever. Yeah, it's regular stuff.
Well, they get the benefit of the multi-camera view, which is just really, they get to go to see the number of visual movements from that screen, as if they're watching it through the regular broadcast. Which, unless you're really here to see it, it's almost what I was trying to do with my system, where you have the 5 windows, and I was trying to pull the camera back enough so they can go, well, while they see the middle window, they could get to see this over here. And sometimes when you're showing a video, I get to show you to I guess it's my left, while you're featuring the video. I try to capture that. It's a little bit different. Yeah. So
all those views, as I say, we're mixing it up. So Vic and I have to experiment. Yeah. So those things are all there right now. Even though the first question for us, Vic, which is what I guess I might as well got to get your opinion too. We have to decide whether to go live with the Pax Stereo system on Meerkat or Periscope. Now, I thought the difference was exposure mostly. Let me just try to think out loud. The main difference was, what were the benefits of doing Periscope? Different audience. We're already represented heavily on Meerkat.
Right.
That was the first. That was the main one.
Right.
Second was horizontal testing.
Right.
Especially when we're broadcasting of our broadcast, then it's able to frame it more appropriately.
Right.
Okay. Even though I was able to make an interesting view for Meerkat by moving the Wirecasts, you know, the previews, the little small ones, I moved them over, and now even in the
little sub
view,
you get to see the sub.
You get the little sub windows, and it looked a little interesting. So that's not terrible, Vic.
Yeah.
And then it only cut you off. You know what it most reminds me of? When we went to the movies and they adapted them for television in the old days.
Right.
How they cut off either side.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
And so then you have the other stuff underneath.
Yeah.
So the question for us to decide right now is, and I did both of them, and I must admit, it was the first time Pax Stereo ever got hearts like that. Even though it was only 77 viewers, in the beginning we were getting tons of hearts.
Right, right.
We've never gotten that.
Yeah.
That's so the main reasons for going live on Periscope to me would be the other audience, because right now we're not being represented on Periscope.
Yeah, from a PC display window.
Right. I would still like to do certain things on Meerkat with this system, because then it'll update in the thing.
Right.
But just to plan it to be somewhat different. So that's the only reason. That's the main reason I can think of. Otherwise, I would probably do Meerkat. See, but I like the fact of being represented in that other system. Right. With the broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It kind of reminds me. I don't even want to get into too much. Some very unique ways there. They say, how do you reap the benefit from the PC display? Because we're doing that from the website display. But then you take advantage of Periscope at the same time. And I kept thinking about it, and I kept saying, so if I pointed my camera, which I would do, I would go, well, Mario's on Meerkat, and I'm on Meerkat. Everybody's on Meerkat. There's no solution for the Periscope thing until you did what you just did over here.
Well, that's part of why I did it, to be different.
Right.
That's why I actually did it, to be different, be different. And that's the main incentive. That's what I was saying. For me, otherwise I would do it. But to me, that's a big enough difference, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't want you to understand my thinking, because it comes up. Right. Because you could build a Pax Stereo audience. See, what would be nice is to have the other phones. That's what I was saying. Because then I could try to build a Pax Stereo audience in Meerkat.
Or you wrote, if you, look.
Well, but we're building the Pax Stereo audience. See, to me, between me, you, and Miko, the Meerkat people are at least getting used to that and us. And even that we know each other. They're sort of at least getting something. That's the main thing I'm already seeing. So the Periscope maybe will tie that in. I don't know. I was just trying to see what you thought.
I think what I'm going to do right now until we get there, because everybody knows multiple phones is a solution. We know that. That makes it easy.
And I'm going to get...
Yeah, that's easy.
We have to decide what phone we want to work with.
But I think information also works. So if I have a schedule and I'm going to be featuring myself on Meerkat, and I tell the Periscope people, here's my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, based on shows, and I say Monday, Periscope, such and such, and I tell the Meerkat people that's where I'm going to be on Periscope, and I tell the Periscope people where I'm going to be on Meerkat. It's information, because they're going to go see you, whether it's usability. It's a nice little testing thing.
Right, it's like to see, well, we get to see, right?
Right.
But this is giving either one of them a quality broadcast. Of either one we're showing, Meerkat, is still, they get to see the multi-camera system.
Yeah.
Everything's been tested.
And you don't have to worry about PC display. That's for playback. That's for your observation.
Right. I went and watched it. See, I watched it both PC and iPhone. So I did those tests. I took my time. I did all of those tests. The one thing I didn't, I only listened sporadically. That needs to be checked on the playback.
Right.
But I'm going to check all that on the playback.
Right.
But at least that's what's up there. So that's the state of the art. And so, of course, I'm going to go look for the other phones.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's
because we can even use used phones.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's the obvious, but there's some ways that if you have a good show or a good product and you tell them this is where you're going to be, well, cable's already trained you to look at multiple stations from the same company. So if you go to Encore, they give you different names, you click through each one. You say, you reduce it down to where's the show going to be at? Well, today, and NFL does this too. We got trained on NFL football buying a package. Fox would buy the whole package of playoffs and everything be Fox. Now it's shared. Fox, NBC, you just look for the show. So I'm going to try to approach it where if the show is what counts, you just tell them where it's going to be. And then until we get the other phones or the additional phones, because I've already been trained on that. I realized during the playoffs, I said, you guys are switching up who handles it almost week to week from one company to another.
Well, we're ready. I just realized I got that plastic, sheet plastic inside, that's long one. I bought some clears behind the bar.
Right.
That could fit here as the plastic.
Right.
So I'm going to attempt to get the other phone.
Okay.
Just try to get, whatever. I can be a used phone.
Right.
Right, because all we're going to use it for, we're not going to connect it to the phone company.
Right.
We're just going to use it to stream.
Right.
And basically to have a setup right here. You're going to have a dual phone setup right here.
Right.
Right next to each other, right, Vic?
Mm-hmm.
Where one is Meerkat and one is Periscope.
Right.
Of our broadcasts,
mm-hmm.
which we'll institute. And I think it's worth it to have that for the broadcast, to just use what we want. It won't be going all the time.
Right.
We're gonna decide, because it has to be monitored.
Well, you still want to engage within your phone because you still want that benefit, because part of the commentary, the comments, the stuff is engaging them. That's always been, because I believe that's
our own Meerkat.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still want to get the engagement.
This would just be the Pax Stereo simulcast. Will now be set up for whenever we want to institute it.
Right.
It'll be the Pax Stereo simulcast. It'll be set up for Meerkat and Periscope.
Why don't you? Now I know you may not think. Well, have you ever thought about going Mario Hemsley Pax Stereo or Pax Stereo by Mario Hemsley? Why don't you personalize your name within the Pax Stereo account? You're still using the current company, but it's still branding your name.
I don't have any issue with that. I just would like to plan and be more clear.
Right.
Mainly based on what we're going to try to pump through it. Because once we have the other... Because it actually makes... Well, I actually thought it would be better if ultimately, if we had the phones, that we would all be doing a Meerkat and Periscope. At that point, you still want... That's going to be the regular broadcast.
Yeah, if you're treating it just as a stream broadcast, that's different, yeah. Versus an interactive one that's personally branded.
Because you can't... It's hard to do all of them.
Right.
See, so mostly, that's why that one was different. See, that's kind of why it works. If it's Periscope in the horizontal and it's and it's streaming the window, that's why I said that one left. That's what it was. It was our live broadcast.
Got you. No, I understand. I got it. Okay. It'll be interesting.
Only because I wasn't planning on customizing it as much as I was planning on us customizing our setups with additional phone.
Got it. Okay.
That's why. That
Makes
was the
sense.
main thing. Because then it could be... Because you're still broadcasting it to that community, right?
Right.
Okay, so... And if it's the same thing technically with the dual phone mounts, even for you coming back at yourself, that made it like that again.
Yeah.
If I could get extra phones for like a couple hundred a piece, it would be nice to get 3.
True. Okay. No, I know what you're saying. It comes down to multiple phone usage. So what we're going to have to... It seems like that's going to be the absolute benefit, right?
Even though... Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I paused, because I was still testing and trying to get the Nexus to do it.
Right.
It's just very hard. The model's too old.
Oh no, it can't. That's
The model's too old.
It's not adaptable.
Even if we had the new Nexus.
No.
The new Nexus phones.
Yeah.
Okay, like if I mean the new Nexus phones. I'm just curious because Amazon has phones. See if you have what's the Amazon phone? Amazon has their own phone, right?
Yeah, they do.
Amazon Fire phone.
Yeah.
So if we got something like that, I just have to see if it works. See, what happens is, Vic, here's the thing. I don't want to spend $600 a piece.
Right.
Something like that. That you definitely don't want to.
Right.
So now you have to see I guess the first thing we have to see does Meerkat work on Amazon phone? Okay. So it doesn't say totally.
Yeah.
That's what we would want to know, right?
Right.
Because we would want to I would be more than willing to try a different phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the Amazon Fire. It's the Amazon Fire. Let's see, it's the Amazon Fire. Oh, that's the Amazon Fire. No, the Amazon. What's the Amazon? We'll see if it would do that. Does it do that? Amazon Fire. 7-inch. Look at these two prices. Fire, powerful tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Front, rear, look at this. For 40. See, I wish this did what we want. Look what. Okay. $49.95. 49. Front and rear front and rear facing cameras. 7-inch display. Amazon Underground included.
Mm-hmm.
8 gigabytes. Updated user interface. Compare tablets. Buy 5, get 1 free. Buy 5, get 1 free. But the thing is, do we know read, watch, play, plug in 5, get 1 free? Resolutions, content. See, my thing is, even when they say content, can I use apps?
Yeah, a little bit more reading, a little bit more feedback from it.
Because check out, because even the big one is $199.
Right.
So I would tend to go with the one with the built-in microphone and the Dolby. So the 99, that's the Fire HD6 quad core. They have a 20 HD single band Wi-Fi. Screen sharing. We have to try, right?
Right.
We don't know if it'll work.
That's what I'm saying. Not saying that the price is not good. I'm just sometimes somebody's already applied this. They've tried already. So there's somebody's going to give you the data on it and say, here's their experience from the simple point of view of how to use it. It's already out there.
Yeah, it's already out there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take a look.
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on though. Okay. Candace, a bunch of stuff. I sent an email about stuff for Candace, really expanded role for her. So I meant to let you know. And that we got the URL. Well, I left some for her to purchase.
Right.
But we'll be acknowledging we get together with her, meeting with her.
Okay.
Acknowledging which URLs have been locked in. Just between us, we can take a look at Candace, C-A-N-D, Renee Rice.tv. CandiceRenee.tv and CandiceReneeRice.tv and CandiceReneeRice.com. I had to just stick some pictures in there,
Right.
just to see. But that's there with it has the feature set,
Right.
Parallax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Her blog. See all that ready to go. Okay. See, so ready to set up.
Okay.
So we're gonna be talking to her about her online presence. So again, I sent out in asking her for an inventory. Okay.
All right.
But I definitely have some ideas for her, things for her to do. So everybody look for Candace Expanded Role. And we're getting her stuff ready to be set up. But we're going to do that as a show. So that's what we're going to work out with. Vic and I are going to work out. Is a show we do with Candace when we're setting up. It'll be something simple like the first show, because the first one I'm going to produce.
Right.
We have to do this works better. It'll be the first one I'll be doing will be like the making of Candace.
Right.
Renee Rice.
Gotcha.
Or the branding of Candace Renee Rice. And so we'll look to do that live.
Cool.
So we got that the URLs .com and .tv Vic.
Okay.
And then also I think we got pimpfriedrice.com.
Okay.
So we're going to be getting that underway for her. We're going to we'll talk to you about how to brand that the best way. I told her we're going to do a show where she comes in for a meeting.
Right.
Where we just talk anyway. So there's no need to hesitate.
Right.
But then we'll decide, you and I will decide what we're going to make the show about her.
Okay.
Okay. She's going to come in on that, okay?
All right.
I also had an idea for a weekly programming meeting. Okay, some of these reason why. Okay, a short meeting could be half an hour, but it could end up being an hour if we make it into a show and talk longer. But it also could be half an hour because it's a programming meeting where we decide about the broadcast.
Okay.
And even if we get that done in 1 hour a week, that would be excellent.
Right.
As we start to change the upcoming broadcasts.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
The only issue I have is that I want to just keep in mind that whether it's half an hour or an hour, one day it can be, I actually expect it to be more like 3 days a week. Shorter, because we'll be making, mainly because of the selfie stuff.
No, I know where you're adopting it.
Yeah, because when you and I decide how we want to feature some of the selfie stuff,
right,
that's what we'll mostly be meeting on. It's not the regular scheduled broadcasting stuff.
Right.
I'm just trying to allow somewhere in there, roughly, for us to be thinking about when we have this selfie content, where we're about to start moving on now, to regularly review it some kind of a way. Because it's already coming up, and then I want to review it with you.
Okay.
Hence, that's where it became a scheduling thing.
Right.
But we can just decide how often we want to deal with it.
Okay. Sounds
it
good to me.
mostly has to do with how often we move new stuff in.
Well, we're probably going to move it in quite heavily because it's taking a big
You and I
turn.
can move stuff in 7 days a week.
Right.
The programming meeting is actually to decide which of our, not our regular stuff, but the stuff that are contributing people, where that goes in.
Right.
That's why, depending how often they're submitting it, if we start having them do like Candace, if I'm having her doing selfies 5 days a week, see, there's a way we might be looking at it 5 days a week.
Right.
But maybe for a short period of time. At that point, it might be 15 minutes to half an hour.
Yeah.
Right? Because how long is it going to take us to review selfies and decide? It'll be quick.
Yeah.
We might have to do it almost every. I don't know that we will. See, this is that evolving thing of how we use whatever we use in the broadcast and how quickly we turn over what's in it. So it almost might be I can see where it might be a daily thing for half an hour, 15 minutes to it might be a daily thing from 15 minutes to half an hour, where after that I change things for that day.
No, I understand.
It might be something like that. I'm gonna see what we want to. I gotta see what we can live with.
Well, you know, mine is be careful. Production and inventory. Really, the focus is really like a click away. The featured selfie is probably more important to me than say, hey, here's the 10 selfies of the week, but then you need to feature them. They need to have an aggressive push for people to go watch it versus just inventory it and put it in, say, a 24-hour system or something similar like that. That to me is the thing that I'm looking at, because they're going to compile based on our aggressiveness of how we're approaching this. I mean, you get 4 people times how many selfies times a week. That's a lot of selfies being featured versus just placing them in a rotation. So it'll be interesting to see how we handle it. But I agree with you, though. Totally agree. There's no way you can wait for one day a week.
I'm just anticipating. Maybe I see what happens with me. Just like when we were 24, I have trouble adjusting first to the idea, but then based on the way you and I do stuff, we go do it, and it's so livable that it's almost fun, right? Yeah. And in a minute, you know what I'm saying? If we do it on this, it'll end up, we see, I can say 5 days a week, and it'll be a 7, because what we'll do the other days at different times.
Yeah.
But we'll update it, the broadcast quickly, the broadcast machine, because I'm hopefully thinking of, no matter what we do in the 15 minutes to 30 minutes that we talk about it, that is something I instituted 15 minutes to 30, 15, same thing. It'll
right.
be talking about it and instituting it is under an hour a day,
right.
which for us as a broadcast machine, I think is kind of exemplary. With the idea that we could expand one day. Just imagine if we did expand. Right. It would be in half an hour to hour increments, right?
Right.
Even if we had another whole hour, we took that process and added a whole hour to it, because we did the discussion with our interns
right.
and the staff, and we reviewed videos. So I can see how we could take that same time, expand it to 2 to 3 hours if we review videos with the staff.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I go like, even still, isn't that remarkably well organized and concise for an operation of this size, Vic? Even if you're having that even if you're having that as a staff meeting, X
mm-hmm.
numbers of days per week, it just seems like that's fairly concise and consistent, and that with your goals and what you're doing, everybody will get faster, right?
Well, it's no different than what we do with the broadcast here. Once we got to the practice of operating this at 3 days a week,
right,
we adopted what we call the principles and practices to slim it down.
Right.
You're doing the same approach. You're actually saying, we're going to have to try this for a while to see where we can now do what we said was the most important thing, is taking the videos and saying, this is the one that's a must see, or these are the ones that are must see.
Totally.
Because you can't leave them. Can't
right?
leave them at, like, you know, it's not like an upload at YouTube where you
they get lost without promotion.
Yeah, or else what happens, the protocol is going to be easy, but I think once you start from the one, like you approach a press release, you approached it in a way that its outreach is to notify everyone to say, you need to see this, or you would like to see this, click this, versus, because I believe when we start simply from there, it's a one-to-one reaction. Here's what's being featured, here's what's being promoted. I think it's just going to, it'll energize us, because you now know that you're actively doing more than inventorying it. You're actually promoting it as well right then and there. I mean, I think when that gets wrapped around it, I think it'd be even better. So I see where you're going with it. Well,
that's what we're hoping to do, right? Because it's for our staff, and these are the simple innovations, right?
Right.
You and I are good at these, and it's the workflow thing, right?
Right.
And we're getting ready for it. We're adding stuff again, really in a nice way.
Yeah.
I feel, as the person who has to do a lot of the technical weight, you have to come and do the social weight. At least I can say from the technical side, none of it is a killer for me.
Yeah.
So that makes it easy to keep adding stuff, and then we just have to decide how we want to work it.
Yeah.
Okay. Additional reviews. I looked at some features I want to add. One of the features we're going to be adding soon is annotations. That's when you watch a video, those things, Vic, that come out over.
Yeah.
There's a whole review of them I want to do with you at some point in time.
Right.
About that I did with YouTube about ways to use them.
Okay.
That for branding that we'll talk about later. This is just on Periscope with the horizontal. The part I want to remind, I sent an email out to Miko and to Candace about the YouTube's, their Creative Academy, and they have a branding boot camp.
Right.
They have a Foundations for Success boot camp, and I sent that out for everybody. Here it is, Foundations. So when you go to, just search Creator Academy,
right,
YouTube, and then it's going to give you the links. Then you go over there, and what I'm talking specifically about is the Foundations for Success Boot Camp. And what I was going to suggest, Vic, not as so much as a show, even though we might record it, I just don't know. Well, we'll record it. I just don't know where we're going to put it, right?
Right.
But to go and work through some of this stuff with the team.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. See how they talk about the fundamentals for creating a channel on YouTube.
Right.
And what they talk about is the things that go into the channel. Why branding matters is what I looked at specifically, and what I liked about it was when you looked at, they gave you all these things, okay? Even now we're gonna, and what's so good, they have the opening video, then they have the subsets, like create a sensational brand. Right. You click this and it explains and opens up.
Right.
See?
Right.
Channel icon. Okay, and I thought we would go through, and for all of our channels, again, what's good, you and I have channels that just need to be looked at, but I thought as part of the exercise, why not do the updates right then simultaneously with Candace and Miko as they do their stuff.
Okay.
And that way we can update our own and work through this.
Okay.
And this is specifically the why branding matters one, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'll remind everybody that when you go to Creator Academy, right here, when you go to Creator Academy, I suggest you sign in, but we're going to go through the whole thing, Vic, because I thought it was well laid out.
Okay.
And we can see what things we think apply. It certainly, with just through my preliminary review, was excellent.
Right.
And serves some commentary for how we think the other, what we call a channel, is different. But that's, all of those things are totally pertinent and could be done in the context of reviewing this with our own Candace and Miko. So the question I wanted to raise to you is to think about, for the upcoming season, there's a certain number of shows we could do with them that are like this, right?
Right.
That are expanded, but we can make somewhat concise by deciding how much of this we do in the show. I would suggest that we do something like that because it has to be done anyway.
Yeah, it's just the length. How long do you want the show to be? I mean, because you've gone through it.
I want to go through the whole thing that's there on the web.
All right.
That's the primary thing. So the faster we get through that.
Okay.
And because every when I look through it, pretty much every aspect applies to the stuff that we need to do anyway.
Yeah. We already had approached saying that we needed to go to our channel pages anyway. That wasn't the primary. Remember, the primary was because Miko, not because Miko. The primary is actually Candace, because Candace has to do her channels and profiles as part of that review. Right.
I thought we would update our own.
Okay.
Because of really, so Candace was again the spark on that. So that's again the branding matters part.
Okay.
Okay. Now, additionally, getting ready for some Thanksgiving stuff. So you know, I'm looking at doing a turducken.
Oh, okay.
Or a duck, anyway. Or a turducken and a duck, or something, or a Cajun turkey and a duck.
Right.
Something, just so you know. Additionally, also the aquarium stuff that we have, the micro aquatic environments, that whole series. I'm ready to begin again with Miko. We talked about that. All these things can begin after. It's just the planning and the layout, so that the pre-stuff can be gotten underway, or at least the schedule.
Right.
Because that's what I said. By reviewing the shows, I'm ready to review the shows with you.
Okay.
So we can decide actually which shows we're going to attempt to do. Some of the schedules are a little bit different to me because I tended to put the shows that will work we had to do anyway up front, because we had to do the work anyway.
Right.
So the ones like Meeting with Candace.
Oh yeah, they go with it anyway.
So we may do those before the first of the year. Some of the other stuff, some of the planning shows, which is what I had more of.
Okay.
The planning shows could be done before the first of the year.
Right.
With the schedule to start after the year at some point.
Yeah, I guess it's all contingent on how disciplined everybody's going to be during the holidays, because it's a lax time, but hopefully it'll be productive.
Well, that's why I said the planning shows involve mostly you and I.
Right.
So we can see how it goes, right?
Yeah, I got you. I mean,
that was the idea. Theoretically.
Yeah.
But then I did put those things for Candace. Okay. And we already know about the technology improvements that are underway.
Right.
That we're doing with Periscope and Meerkat. Okay.
I got it.
I think that's for making Pax Stereo. Remember, this show is the behind-the-scenes show where you get to see Victor and I meet about the issues that are coming up every day. And so, Vic, by the way, I'm going to purchase that $59 Fire.
No, you already made the decision. Huh?
Yeah, to test it out to see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
And if not, to use it potentially for other things.
That's better. Start low. See, it may give you more bang for the buck than going straight up to the 149.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to look and see what the difference is.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for the show. I'm Marl Hemsley, and this has been Making Pax Stereo TV.